create a legacy where we are represented.
I think it's time you take the gloves off, babe.
Right, Carlton?
Carlton!
You need to watch your mouth. Maybe I am on the wrong team.
We can't be friends anymore.
We can't do this to you.
Fight for your principles.
I have anxiety trying to fit into this goddamn Bel-Air bubble.
We all need to step up.
No grind, no grit, no greatness. Oh yeah, here we are once again. It's your man VACAY-JAY. Here we are with Bel-Air. Season 2, Episode 4 recap. Your boy Carlton snaps and Jackie weasels her way into Will's heart. We're going to break everything down, fam. You know how we do on VACAY-JTV. Definitely hit that like button. If you're brand new, hit that subscribe button. Let's go.
VACAY-JTV!
So the name of this episode is Don't Kill My Vibe. And I feel like they're going off the whole Kendrick Lamar album. But yeah, it looks like right here, your boy Will definitely got suspended for going against every deal that was made, that Carlton made with the principal. Now, here's the deal. Carlton's like, yo, you pushed me. You know, I really didn't want to do all of that, but you were supposed to look out for me the way that my parents asked you to do that. So here comes Uncle Phil, Aunt Viv, and they're like, listen, there's nothing we could do. You're definitely suspended, but also the coach pulled you from the team indefinitely. Like, you can't play basketball no more. He's like, man, me and the coach been bumping heads. He just using this as an excuse. And Uncle Phil's like, yo, you didn't make it hard for him to do that. So, you know, she's like, listen, we understand that you was fighting for some things, but there are consequences for fighting for your rights. So he's like, anything else? And your boy Will holds tight and says, nah, nothing else. I'll just do my time. So he doesn't tell on Carlton that Carlton had an anxiety attack. He feels like nobody understands him as they're leaving the school. And guess what? All the students are clapping for Will for what he did to stand up. You know, black teachers matter. And they're absolutely giving him praise for stepping up and doing what he's doing. Of course, Aunt Viv, Uncle Phil, they see the admiration that the students have for him. But, of course, Carlton, he's not really feeling that. And yeah, Yasmin, the president of the BSU, is not really feeling Carlton, right? Because she doesn't know that he has anxiety problems, but, you know, she's not really feeling him at this time. Okay, we're going to find out later why. But Will is definitely, you know, proud of what he did, even though he got suspended and got kicked off the basketball team. Now, Aunt Viv is under pressure because she got a big show coming up. Will is at home with her, right, because he's suspended watching the game, and he feels like, you know, his basketball career is over, you know, and she's asking about the whole AAU, you know, with Doc, and he's like, every time I ask Uncle Phil, you know, he's shutting everything down. Here comes Uncle Phil, and Uncle Phil sent the maid home. So, yeah, he got a whole bunch of chores for Will to do around the house. He's like, you're not just going to sit around here, you know what I'm saying? And she's like, well, he needs a day to decompress. And he's like, yeah, nah, he could decompress on his own time. So she's like, you know, just like, hey, you got to do what you got to do. He wants to know when his dreams are going to be supported and fulfilled the way that it was promised to him. So here we go with the BSU teacher advisor, and she's letting Carlton know that he was selected to get the honor award, and all of his actions were noticed when that whole protest was going on. So he's actually elected, and he won the award, the Founders Award, and Yasmin, the BSU president, overhears what's going on. So yeah, we about to see what's going to happen. Here we go with Jazz and Hillary. And they're having a good time. She's really focused on trying to get this Simply Juice deal going and really shutting down Ivy H2O. So, you know, Jazz is like, yo, does she know about that? And really, it's a lot of pressure on Hillary to get this done because Ivy's really not trying to support it. So they're talking, and Hillary wants to meet Jazz's parents. He's like, I don't know. Like, yeah, maybe we can do it. And she's really up for it. And because, you know, Jazz met her parents and knows her parents, and she wants to do the same. So he's like, all right, baby, let's make it happen. Even though Jazz has his apprehensions because, you know, she's totally different and he is Muslim and his parents are Muslim as well. So here we go. Your boy Will gets a call from Doc. And Doc is like, hey, man, you know, I heard you got suspended. You know, why don't you come down here with your uncle and we could talk about, you know, whatever it is to make a deal to get you on our team to play for our team. So, of course, Will is like, oh, I'm excited. Thank you very much. And why is Doc calling? Because Aunt Viv went down there and spoke to Doc to make that deal happen. So here we go with your boy Jeffrey, boy 007, walking through the house, real quiet. Of course, Uncle Phil's like, hey, you okay? Is everything good? He's like, yeah, I'm all right. I'm all right. And your boy looking real focused, real quiet and everything. Uncle Phil notices how distant Jeffrey is and wondering what's going on. Here we go. Yasmin rolls up on Carlton and she's like, I realized why you didn't make that speech. You know, you didn't make that speech because you was going for that award. Looks like you got it. And Carlton's like, nah, it's not like that. And he tries to explain. And she's like, no, I see exactly what it is. That's why you choked up and didn't do the speech. And we see what it is. So he's trying to tell her the real deal, but he's also trying to hide his secret with his anxiety problems. Here we go with Hillary, and she's talking to Aunt Viv, and she's like, yeah, how you and Jazz doing? And she's like, yeah, I'm about to meet his parents. And she's like, oh, wow, okay, that's a big deal. So she's like, why? Because you guys are so different, you know, and, you know, Aunt Viv kind of gets into Hillary's head like, yo, you guys are very, very different. So we'll see what happens. So here we go with Will. Will is now talking to Uncle Phil and let him know, yeah, I took care of all the, you know, chores and everything. And, you know, I just wanted to make sure you got some extra elbow grease on your wheels. And he's like, yeah, okay, so what's going on? What do you want? Will, talk to me. What else do you want to talk about? He's like, yo, remember Doc, you know, and all of that. I know I'm on suspension, but can we talk about Doc? And of course, Uncle Phil, he has his, you know, apprehension about that. He really doesn't feel that guy. He feels like Doc is really a scheming type of dude. But they end up going down and talking to Doc, right? Because they did make an appointment. So he goes there, and yes, Will is definitely impressed. They see the program. They see they got a whole basketball program set up for all these students out there and with trainers and everything. And he's like, yeah, see, they don't got that at Bel-Air, you know, Uncle Phil. You know what I'm saying? Will is trying to sell it. And of course, Doc is like, listen, it's like $10,000 up front, and it's like $500 a month. And he's like, you know, I don't really talk about, you know, the particulars, but do you need like, you know, scholarship program or whatever, you know, like financial aid? He's like, listen, let's sit down and talk. Of course, Will is laughing about that. So Will's like, okay, cool. He's like, nah, Will, go get your hair faded up, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. So he goes upstairs to get a cut, make sure his hair's tight, whatever. You know how Will does it. So back at school, Lisa's talking to Carlton, and she understands exactly what he's going through. She knows that he has anxiety problems, and he had a panic attack, and he's trying to explain this guy right here, Drew, Doug, or whatever his name is. He is super stalkerish, right? He's like, hey, Lisa, hey, you want to come out, you know, to BSU? We're going to bowl. And she's like, yeah, sure, whatever. She seems to like the dude, but this dude is extra stalkerish, right? Of course, Yasmin's looking at Carlton with the mean mug, and he looking back like, man, you know what I'm saying? Like, because she rolled up on him, but she doesn't know the truth. So Carlton's like, yo, whatever, I don't care. And Lisa notices what's going on. And, you know, he really doesn't want to tell her because he doesn't want another girl to feel sorry for him like Lisa does. And she's like, listen, I'm not even trying to go there with you. You just need to be honest. You know, women actually like that you're honest with them, and then they will actually support you. So Will's getting his cut. Who rolls in? Of course, Jackie, which is Doc's niece. She rolls up and sees Will getting his cut. She's like, what's going on with you, you know? And he's like, oh, you work here too? He's like, yeah, you know, I kind of know the boss. Oh, yeah, that's right. You're Doc's niece. So they're kicking it. And of course, she has a strong interest in Will, and he definitely has a strong interest as well. So he's like, yo, when you going to let me come into your world? You know, and she's like, I don't really let a lot of people into my world. But again, I feel like she has ulterior motives for Will. I think that Doc is really using her, and maybe she does have a strong interest for him in a way, but it's kind of like borderline, right? Like she's going to do what she got to do to kind of get Will to come there and work with Doc so they can get money. But at the same time, she likes him. So Doc is sitting down with Uncle Phil. And Uncle Phil, again, is just asking a lot of questions. You know, he's really concerned and trying to make sure Will is straight. And Doc is like, yo, people don't usually press me when they come to me for help for their students. And he's like, yo, you're going to get a cut of everything even after he graduates and all this and that. And he's saying how he's making sure that students get at least $80,000 a year as soon as they graduate high school. And he's like, listen, your wife didn't have a problem with that. And he's like, my wife? And Uncle Phil gets up and hightails it out of there. Will is like, yo, what's going on? What's going on? Why are we leaving? What happened? Who shot who? He's like, yo, explain to me. He's like, listen, I feel like we could just find a better coach, a better team, just a better program. And he's just like that. You controlling my life. You said you was going to support me, man. I know it's not like Bel-Air, and maybe that's what you don't like about it. And that's probably why you don't like for me to be around this thing. So, of course, Will is frustrated about everything, but he goes outside and he sees Ashley. And Ashley's so upset because she feels like it's all her fault that Will got suspended, that it's all her fault that all this went down. And Will is like, nah, it's not your fault. You know what I'm saying? Like, you stood up for your rights and everything. And she's just like, why, when you stand up for your rights, things end up terrible like this? And he's just trying to figure out how to just be encouraging to her while she's trying to figure everything out. Here we go. Phil goes to Aunt Viv screaming and yelling like, how'd you go behind my back? And she's like, I didn't know I had to have permission to go behind your back or whatever to talk to anybody. And Uncle Phil is really going off because he feels like he got sideswiped and he feels like they're not on the same page, which is kind of understandable. Like, he knows that this guy, Doc, may not be good, but she also is like, listen, we can't be puppet masters in Will's life, just like you try to control him, not seeing his father, and you see what happened with that. So Aunt Viv has her point as well, like, stop trying to be controlling. But Uncle Phil is like, listen, we got to be on the same page when it comes down to Will. So they both are kind of in the wrong or whatever, but yeah, they're going to come together, hopefully, to help out Will. Now, here we go. Your boy Will's trying to convince Carlton to come on out to the BSU and all of this and that. He's like, nah, I'm just going to watch a movie. I'm kind of depressed. So, of course, Will is like, listen, we are going to be bowling. And we know that Carlton really does like bowling. He's like, bowling for real? Okay. Like, you know what I'm saying? You sure? Like, yeah, come on out. We're going to be bowling. Notice Will's shirt. And this is the episode where it's like, I feel like it's kind of like a reference to Will Smith's Parents Don't Understand. So here we go with Uncle Phil. He goes to Aunt Viv and apologizes. And she's like, yo, we arguing back and forth like that. We yelling. That's not us. And of course, Uncle Phil is really apologetic. He's like, yeah, I'm sorry. I just got a lot on my mind, And she's like, what's going on? So he's really concerned about what's going on with the firm. This guy, James, the attorney at the firm, his partner, is being real shady, and he doesn't understand what's going on, trying to figure it out. And she's just telling him, listen, like, you can't control everything. Everything's going to be fine. And you just got to chill. Like, not everybody is against you. You know what I'm saying? You're not always going to be facing opposition. Sometimes people are on your side. You just may not see it that same way, on the same perspective. She's a really good wife, I'll tell you, for real. So here we go. Jazz and his parents are at dinner. And who shows up? Listen, that's Nancy from the Oval, man. I'm telling you. But not only Nancy from the Oval. A lot of you may not know, because you may not watch Tyler Perry, The Oval, right? You may not watch that show. But that is his mother that is playing his mother in here, and her name is Tasha Story. So Jazz's real name, Jordan L. Jones, and that's his mother playing his mother in this role of Jazz. And she actually is making her rounds, boy. She's doing her thing, being on this show with her son. So I thought that was dope. So they are ready. He's like, listen, everybody just be cool, calm down. She's different. And who walks in? Hillary walks in with the hair wrap and everything, looking like she's Muslim. Of course, Jazz is surprised, and the parents are surprised as well. But she's looking very nice, very presentable, very respectable. And they're like, oh, but Jazz, again, I guess she didn't give him the heads up, because she's like, oh, okay. And she's like, assalamu alaikum. And he's like, what? She knows the language. She knows the lingo, and she's smiling. And they are, so alaikum salam. And Mom goes over to him and says, yes, she's perfect, right? And he's like, yeah. And Pops gives him the fist like, yeah, man, like you found a good one, right? Of course, Jazz is totally thrown off because he was not expecting Hillary to dress up and be in a Muslim outfit like that. So, of course, these guys, they're playing, they're bowling. Your boy is trying to give Will some lessons. He's like, step back, step back. Will is throwing gutter balls. Carlton is throwing strikes. And they're having a good time. They bring over the kiddie bowling thing for Will to line up so Will could get the strike, and he finally gets the strike. So the cousins are having a good time, blowing off some steam, which is cool. Lisa shows up, and of course, Will rolls over to her like, hey, when'd you show up? What's going on? This guy, Drew, Doug, or whatever his name is grilling your boy Will. And Will is like, yo, he's like grilling me. What's going on with that? You know, like, I don't know what you see in him. And she's like, well, that's what they said about you. And he's like, who? Who said that? How many people said that? So he walks over, is like, hey, Lisa, I got you a drink. Real corny dude, right? He's like, hey, what's going on? He's like, your name is James, right? Or Drew? He's like, yeah, Drew. So Will gets a text from Jackie, ready to come and get a glimpse of my world. He's like, all right, Lisa, I'm out. So he tells Carlton, like, yo, you gonna be all right? I'm leaving out. So he's like, yo, listen, man, Yasmin looking good. You need to talk to her, man. Just go over there, talk to her, man. Everything gonna be fine. I know she may be upset with you or whatever, but just at least try. Will is always pushing Carlton to do something outside of his comfort zone. So he looks at her. She is looking good, and he is contemplating whether he's gonna talk to her or not. Here we go with your boy 007 Jeffrey, and yeah, they're inside talking to Uncle Phil, and Uncle Phil's like, hey, you know, would you like a drink? And Jeffrey is real quiet, man. Like, he knows a lot, and he's really trying to get it out of him. So Jeffrey tells Uncle Phil, hey, listen, your partner has been having meetings with other firms, and you definitely need to talk to him about what's going on. So, of course, Uncle Phil's like, okay, we got to do that. Your boy Carlton walks over to Yasmin on some like, yo, can we talk, you know, in private? And she's like, nah, I'm just trying to chill, you know, whatever. Maybe we could talk later. It's her turn to go up and bowl or whatever. So, of course, Carlton's like, well, damn. All right, well, I guess we're going to have to talk later. This guy, Drew, Doug, or whatever his name is, comes up and is like, yo, you might as well just take the L, man. He's like, yo, this is none of your business. He's like, nah, it is my business, man. You know, kind of find out, you know, the reason why you didn't do that speech is because you was up for an award. So you really was kind of pulling our leg and, you know, acting like you was down for us, but you really wasn't because you was just out for yourself. And, you know, Carlton's like, listen, man, don't act like you know me, son. Don't act like you know me. He's like, yeah, we know you, man. You know, you probably had to suck on, you know, the teacher advisor in order to get that award. Your boy Carlton, man, he is furious. They looking like, oh, shoot, for real. Like, everybody's listening. And this dude keeps pressing on Carlton like that, rolling up in his face. Man, listen, Carlton wails on that kid. They get into it. He gets him on the ground. Lisa's like, Carlton, stop. You know, he's the bigger than Carlton. Your boy Carlton start wailing on that little boy. You know what I'm saying? Taking him out, showing him for real. Like, you don't know Carlton, son. Like, Carlton definitely can fight. Like, for real. Carlton gets it in. So Carlton, they pull him up, and he's like, get off me. He's like, you know what? The real reason why I couldn't do that, why I couldn't do my speech is because I have panic attacks and I take medicine, and I've been trying to wean off this medicine and trying to fit into this Bel-Air bubble just for y'all. See, there you go. That's the truth. That's why I didn't talk, because I had a panic attack. Of course, Yasmin's looking on. They're all looking on, surprised, and the whole nine. And he finally lets everybody know that it's not that he did it for an award. He had a panic attack. This dude looking stupid on the ground. And Lisa, he walks out, and Lisa walks over to Drew or whatever his name is. Like, yo, that's how you treat the people. We supposed to make this a safe environment for everybody. And you guys are treating people like crap. And she's totally right. You know what I'm saying? Yasmin, she feels bad, I'm sure. So Lisa goes out to Carlton. She's like, yeah, you didn't have to do that. And, you know, she walks over to him, brings him his bag or whatever. You know, they still friends and they still cool. And he's like, yeah, you know, Lisa to the rescue again. And she's like, hey, you know, I'm always going to be here. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's trying to make him feel better after everything because he did him in. She was like, yo, you did kick his ass, though. And your boy did. Your boy Carlton, they started laughing or whatever. Carlton did beat dude up. You know what I'm saying? Carlton's strong. You know, he was on a lacrosse team. Remember, he got some skill. He got some strength. So he's like, all right, you want to get a ride home? Cool. Let's see what happens with that. Do you think they're going to get back together? Let's see. So your boy Will rolls up to this dance studio. Who's dancing? Yeah, Jackie is dancing. Couldn't find out she's a dancer, like doing ballet, splits, backflips, all types of stuff. Like, what? Like, yo, Jackie got some skills, you know what I'm saying? Looking like a black butterfly floating and everything. Like, she's actually pretty good with the dancing. Your boy Will is definitely impressed because he had no idea, none of us did, that she was a dancer. So she ends her dance. He starts clapping or whatever. She's like, how long you been there? It's like, I haven't been here long enough. I didn't know you was a dancer. Couldn't find out she's a dancer. Of course, she works with her uncle. and she holds a 3.8 average. Like, she's super smart, super talented, and she works real hard. And then she says that line, no grind, no grit, no greatness. That's what my uncle told me. So, he's like, yo, me and Sweetie, Sweetie, me and Sweetie like this. We real close. She's like, yeah, right. So your boy Will starts dancing, break dancing, doing all types of crazy stuff. She went ahead, started doing the Cabbage Patch and everything. And, they trying to dance or whatever. She's like, yeah, I got to teach you some more lessons. So, they getting all cozy and close. And yeah, it's definitely heating up. This moment had to happen. That vibe was definitely there. And definitely Will is not killing the vibe. You know what I'm saying? The energy's definitely there. And they finally kiss. It's about time, right? They finally get their little smooch on. Now, back at Jazz's dinner. So here we go. Hillary, dressed up, is trying to really impress Jazz's parents. He's like, yeah, your last name, goes with, this and that. He's like, yeah, that's correct. And while, we all applaud Hillary's efforts to really go on Google and study and find out everything, your boy Jazz is like, listen, can we change the subject? Because she's really going in and trying to be a little bit extra on showing them what she knows about the religion, being Muslim and everything. He's like, how about we change the subject? And they're like, yeah, how about we do that? And, she kind of notices like, yeah, they really don't want to talk about that. And she doesn't have to go and do all that extra stuff. She can just be herself, but she wasn't being herself at that very moment. So here we go. Your boy 007 brings in James from the firm. He's like, yeah, I'm glad you can meet up at this late hour. He's like, I'm not like I had a choice, Your boy Jeffrey went and got him. He's like, yo, what's going on? Like, seriously, man, what is happening with the firm? Come to find out that, yeah, James has been having meetings with other firms. And yeah, it's about acquisition, one firm acquiring their firm. He's like, yo, how do we build all this up for you to go and sell it? And James is like, listen, man, you was the star guy. You was the superstar lawyer bringing $1 million accounts. And once you left to do your political pursuits, we had to, pay the bills. We had to do stuff. We didn't get all the clients. And we had a lot of lawyers leave because they couldn't hold the weight to you because you were the superstar. He's like, just like you did what's best for you, I got to do what's best for me and the firm. And of course, Jeffrey's sitting there looking all dead-faced like, okay, that's what's going on. But yeah, and to find out, yeah, Phil definitely was the superstar and there's nothing he could really do about it. Here we go with your boy Will. He's like, yo, man, I heard that you turned up at the bowling party. You know what I'm saying? Like, why you ain't wait for me before you started hulking out? Look at the BSU thread. Now they're starting things, as far as like mental awareness and anxiety awareness and everything, all because of what you admitted to. So now here we go. Uncle Phil, Aunt Viv walking. They're like so surprised, like, oh, you cooked us breakfast? And Will is like, yeah, I cooked y'all breakfast. Oh, Carlton never cooked us breakfast. She's like, all right, what's going on? What do you need? He's like, listen, I know you didn't really feel Doc and everything else like that, but I really, really want to get your permission. Please, can we do this? I really want to play with Doc's team. And Uncle Phil is sitting there and he's like, I don't know. He's like, can we please do it? He's begging him, pretty much begging him. And Uncle Phil's looking at him and he's like, okay, we can do it. We can go down there and do it. Of course, Will is excited about that, right? Because this could be like his way of getting to the NBA, right? Getting to college and NBA. So, of course, Aunt Viv is happy. And Uncle Phil's like, listen, we got to pray because you cooked the food, Will. We got to pray over this food. So here we go with Jazz and Hillary. And he's like, yo, listen, I appreciate your efforts, but all you got to do is be yourself. We are from different worlds. But at the end of the day, I really like you for you, not because, you are a part of my religion or because you're somebody else. And she's really questioning it. But he's like, listen, don't worry about that. Just be yourself. I like you for you. Let's keep it real. All right. So here we go with Ashley. She's reading some Black literature. Will comes over with some great and encouraging words for his cousin and says, listen, we need you. You're the next generation. We need you to step up and we need you to get back in the fight. We all have bad days, but you got to get back up and try again, right? So, of course, she is happy that Will is giving her some great and encouraging words, being a great cousin. And he gives her this folder and she opens it up and it's actually the flyer that she made up, Black Lives Matter and everything else like that. So, of course, she is loving her cousin. Great, like a big type brother, big cousin. He's a good dude. So here we go, and your boy, Carlton, is just trying to figure things out. He's trying to move forward, he finally admitted to, all of his student body that he has, these problems. And what does he do? He deletes Yasmin's number so he can start all over and start fresh. You never know. Maybe Carlton and Lisa may get back together. So here we go with Uncle Phil and Will, and they go see Doc. He's like, oh, I'm surprised to see you back here. I thought you really didn't trust me. And Uncle Phil's like, yeah, that may be true. But, we thought about it, and here's the term, here's the fee, and here's the contract, right? So Doc gets the fee, and he looks over the contract. Of course, Uncle Phil reads out a whole bunch of stuff, amends a whole bunch of stuff. He's like, listen, yeah, Will can play for your team, but you're not going to owe him. He's going to help you win, but you're not going to own him, period, for the rest of his life. That's not going down. He's like, oh, did you strong on him to do that? He's like, nah, but Uncle Phil's going to look out for my best interest. I thought you would appreciate the hustle. He's like, all right, we got a deal. So, of course, Will is excited about that. Yeah, he's not going to be getting all that stuff. He's definitely going to get a fair deal. And Uncle Phil looks over at the wall, and what does he see? He sees no grind, no grit, no greatness. And Uncle Phil notices that term because, yeah, Will used that term as well. So Will is happy. He's going to be playing for a team. Of course, Doc is happy. He got the $10,000 up front. And here it goes. Yeah, Jackie walks in and is like, how did that go? He's like, well, thanks to you. You helped Will see that he has to work hard to get what he wants, right? So I appreciate you stepping in and working Will over kind of, right? Again, I think Doc was using his knees to kind of smooth Will over, to motivate him to definitely push forward to get Uncle Phil to fold and to make the deal. So that's the recap of episode 4 of Bel-Air season 2. Family, let me know your thoughts on this one. I thought this was definitely a greater episode than the last one. Your boy Carlton is coming to terms with everything. Will finally is on a team, and Hillary, she just has to learn how to be herself. And yeah, Uncle Phil got to calm down, man. He really got to come to terms and do what he needs to do in order to keep the family together. So family, if you find me for the first time, definitely hit that subscribe button and definitely hit that like button and share as well. I appreciate you all for watching. Definitely a great episode. I hope it keeps getting better and better and better. And family, I appreciate you all for watching. Thank you for your love and support. And until next time, salute.